So these are the top 4 things I tell my buyers to do as soon as they close on a property, especially a single family or detached home. Okay, some of these will apply to condos and townhomes, maybe not necessarily all of them. But first thing, secure the property. And what I mean by that is change the locks. Yeah, that thing everybody says they're gonna do, but nobody actually does because, oh man, I gotta call a locksmith or I gotta go to Home Depot and I gotta get new locks, but then the front door doesn't match the back door and all these excuses that you never do. Especially if your home was vacant, if it was a rental, if it was on the market a long time. All of those things can contribute to people you don't know having access to your home. If there's a keypad on the front door, that may have been how the agents got into the home. They may not have programmed that before they closed. It's really common because why would they do that? Somebody else is going to own it and they're probably going to change it anyway, right? So the seller's not always going to do that just to give you your own code. So secure your home. Change the keypad codes to the front door lock. Change the keypad to the garage. It's a lot of ones that people forget, and sometimes that's given as access to renters and all that kind of stuff. So change the locks. A lot of times the locks will have a little pinhole next to it on your deadbolts, and those a lot of times are a rekey feature, a smart rekey feature where you can rekey it easily yourself versus calling a locksmith. If you had a home warranty, sometimes agents will include this as an offer package to their clients if you ask for it, or if the home warranty might include it. So ask your agent, hey, is there any rekeying services that are included or that you offer or what you recommend? A lot of times people are going to upgrade to smart locks anyway, right? Especially for your front door, back door, main exterior entrances. So if you're going to go ahead and upgrade those, buy a bulk pack from Home Depot that has 2 or 3 locks and locking doorknobs and everything that uses the same key. Get those on the house. Secure your property. You don't know who had access to this before. If you're buying it from an original owner, I closed one of those yesterday, which is great, but you also don't know, did they give the neighbor kid down the street a key so they could feed the dogs while they were out of town or whatever, right? So secure your property. Make sure you know who has access to your home. That's the first thing. Second thing, know your shut-off locations. And what I mean by that is your utility shut-offs. Where's your water shut-off? Where's your gas shut-off? Where's the breaker box? Do you have sub panels that you need to know about? Are they connected to the main breaker box and is a sub panel, or is it a second panel for another building if you're buying a larger property? So in condos and townhomes, this may be a little bit different depending on how the buildings are set up. But when you have a shower valve that breaks, that is gushing water in your shower, or some other issue, or a gas leak, that is not the time to go find your shutoffs, because that's when the longer it takes to find it, the more damage or the more of a health risk it can be, or safety risk, okay? So go find your shutoffs. Make sure all of the adults living in your household know where the shutoff is. And I say adults because my kids are 2 and 4. So make sure that if you have someone that comes over and waters your plants while you're out of town, or if you vacation a lot, or if you travel a lot, or if this is going to be vacant like an Airbnb or an investment, that whoever manages the property or takes care of it knows where those shutoffs are. So understand that the longer those take, the more damage can happen to your property. Know where they are, label them, make sure anybody that's going to be there knows where they're at. Number 3, lingering inspection items. Because when you do an inspection on a property, because you should always do an inspection when purchasing property, I don't care if it's new build, I don't care what it is. Unless you're an inspector or general contractor yourself and you're going to dig through it, you know what you're buying, then you should always have an inspection on the property. Inspectors, at least here in the state of Colorado, are not currently licensed. They don't have to be licensed with the state. So they may or may not show you where those shutoffs are. They may or may not catch all these things. But if you have an inspection list that comes out of the inspection, most of the time, good inspectors are going to say, hey, it's not a brand new home. Here's things you need to be aware of. Or if it is a brand new home, here's things you need to have the builder fix. Here's things they may not fix. But if you have a list of items, leaking sinks happens all the time. Oh, hey, there's a small drip on a sink. There's a small drip on a toilet shutoff valve. There's a small drip in the shower. There's something like that. A lot of times it's minor plumbing issues. Maybe it's exposed electrical that you're like, oh, it's an unfinished basement. Okay, cool. You move into the house, and because it's not immediate, or you don't, maybe you can't ask the seller to negotiate those things. If that's your market condition, maybe that doesn't work in your favor. So take that inspection list as kind of a to-do list or a handyman list, and just plan the day to get those things taken care of. Because once you move in, you get furniture, you get all your stuff unpacked, life happens, and you tend to forget about those things. And those are the things that can cause bigger problems down the road, especially if they're minor plumbing leaks. So you're like, oh yeah, cool, I can take care of that. And then you just forget because moving is stressful and things happen. and then you have a bigger problem on your hands, and then you have to replace a cabinet, or then you have rotted out flooring because they're little things that didn't get taken care of and either got worse or continue to cause damage. So use that inspection list, go take care of those items, schedule a plumber, a handyman, whoever you need to. Go on YouTube and go find how to do this stuff yourself. I'm a huge proponent of learning how to take care of things yourself, especially when it comes to maintaining your home. So go get those things taken care of before you forget about them and they become a bigger issue. So that's number 3. That leads me into number 4. My biggest thing that I tell all my buyers, water sensors, okay? And this is just, I got a 5-pack on Amazon. I'm going to give them to some clients that I just closed the other day. So it doesn't have to be this brand. There's 5 or 6 different brands. I bought different kinds. You can buy smart ones. You can buy dumb ones. And they're not that expensive. They work out to $5 to $10 a piece. If you buy like a bulk pack, or maybe $20 to $30 a piece for the smart ones that hook up to the app, and then you have to have Wi-Fi. I don't like smart things when it comes to things like this, unless I'm not going to be at the property and I have a security system that I can view from my phone that it ties it to. But my thing is if you're not going to be at the house and someone is going to be at the house on a regular basis, I don't want another failure point. I don't want a Wi-Fi router or the Wi-Fi going out or me forgetting to do whatever with that to be the failure point. I am a fan of things that make loud noises so somebody knows something's going on. So these, like this particular one I actually kind of like. These are new ones. The other ones I haven't had a top sensor and a bottom sensor. So these have 2 bottom sensors, smaller. See, I haven't taken the batteries out of this one yet, or the little safety battery thing. There's smaller ones here. There's wider ones apart there. And then there's some top sensors. So the thing I like about this is essentially when water makes contact between those 2 contacts, any of those pairs, it alarms. They are loud. They're usually 100, 120, 150 decibels. So, because when there is something beeping randomly in the house, inevitably people don't tend to ignore that unless it's a beep they already know, and then it's the smoke alarm they forgot to put the 9-volt battery in, right? So I buy packs of these because I tell my clients, put one under every sink, put one by your water heater. So in case your water heater starts to fail or something like that, a lot of times those water heaters, your overflow valve will have a discharge tube that goes right into the drain, which is great from managing the water in case it blows. But what if that is in a basement and you don't go down to your basement because it's unfinished, and maybe that overflow valve is just blowing on occasion or something like that, or maybe your furnace is having a condenser issue. I have a property under contract that has a furnace issue right now. And so we know that condenser line is dripping and leaking. Put these close to that floor drain in your mechanical room. So, or close to the overflow discharge tube, or at the bottom of the water heater. So put one near your mechanical equipment, put one under each one of the sinks, kitchen sinks, bathroom sinks. If you have a basement bathroom you don't go in very often, put it underneath the shutoff valve for the toilet. Okay, so if that starts to leak, you know about it before your floor is destroyed, or before you go down to the basement and the entire basement is wet because you just never go in the bathroom. The other thing, put this near your sump pump or your sump pit, okay? If your sump pump is in a pit in the ground, given all the water that we've had this year and all the calls that I got from clients of like, oh my gosh, my sump pump wasn't working and I didn't know, and now my basement is flooded, right? Because sometimes those GFCIs will trip and your sump pump won't kick on and you don't know until there's water everywhere. So put this right at your sump pit entrance or wherever that pump is. So if your pump stops working, or maybe you have a pit that doesn't have a pump because you've never needed it before, but now there's a lot of rain, put it in the areas of your basement where, hey, whenever there's a lot of rain outside, there's a drainage issue or something. Put it wherever, if there is water and there shouldn't be, that you want to know. Okay? Cheap insurance. Hell of a lot cheaper than filing a claim with your insurance company and paying your deductible. Okay? $50 is a lot cheaper than your deductible. I know there's some cheap deductibles out there right now that cost an arm and a leg in your premium, but $50 is cheaper than it. I guarantee it. Okay, so the other thing is underneath the sinks, I also tell, and this kind of goes along with the water leaking, so I'm still considering it number 4, but also the silicone tray mats. I don't have one with me in the office today, but you can go on Amazon or Walmart or whatever and search an under sink mat. They're usually sized to standard cabinet sizes. You can also get some that have raised areas that you can trim around any plumbing entrances or anything like that. So, because inevitably, and I always look at this when I show buyers properties, we're going to look underneath that sink cabinet, right? And 8.5 to 9 times out of 10, that cabinet has some previous water damage. because things happen, disposals drip, things, your faucet starts leaking, the seals go bad, all kinds of things happen. And the time that you find out that that's leaking is when you go to pull the soap out to fill the dishwasher and the bottom of the soap box is all nasty, because I still use the cardboard box with the powdered soap in it. I'm that person. But anyway, or whatever, you go to pull cleaning stuff out and you're like, why is there water down here? This shouldn't be wet. Put those silicone under sink mats under there. Put one of these right under the disposal or right under the P-trap or right under those likely areas where it's going to leak. Yes, you're still going to get some water in there, but that silicone tray is likely going to protect the sink cabinet base. So you don't have to, replace that. It's going to protect it from going all the way, soaking through the cabinet and soaking to your floor, your subfloor, because that happens a lot too and ruins people's floors. So get the under tray or the under sink mat, put it underneath your bathroom sinks, and then put this water detector on top of it, water alarm. So anyway, got to be a little bit long, but those are my top 4 things that I recommend to all of my buyers that purchase homes to really it's cheap insurance is really what it is, guys. You want to know about water before it happens. You need to know where your shutoffs are for safety and to prevent damage if you ever have a problem. You also want to secure your property so you don't have people getting in that you don't know about, especially with movers and previous renters and all those kinds of things. And take care of those inspection to-dos. Don't forget about those, because once you move in, life's busy, things happen, you got stuff to worry about, the lawn's dying, the kids are crying, and whatever. The last thing you think about is, oh yeah, that bathroom we don't use that has a small leak in it. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful. If it was, or you got a tidbit, hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. That helps other people find it. If you are looking to interview an agent to help you buy or sell here in the Denver metro area, I would love the opportunity for an interview. So please feel free to reach out to me directly. My phone number and my contact information is down below. So thanks so much for the time, and congrats on the new home. Have a great day.